Geopolitics heating up. Iran versus the United States on the verge of global escalation. In recent months, the United States has reported a significant increase in its military presence around Iran, including the deployment of large-scale air power approaching the capacity of major operations seen in previous wars. Many analysts view this move as both a pressure strategy and a deterrent against potential expansion of Iranian influence. On the other hand, Iran has responded with a firm stance and harsh rhetoric, stating that any attack will be considered a declaration of total war. This statement indicates that the conflict is no longer merely a puzzle, but has entered a phase of active deterrence with a high risk of open escalation. Tehran responds. Reports of U.S. troops deployment to Middle East spark new tensions. Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East have escalated again following reports of a possible deployment of additional United States troops to the region, a move that has immediately attracted widespread attention and raised concerns about a potential escalation of conflict in a region known for its sensitivity to changing global military and political dynamics. The focus of this development is on Tehran, which, as the capital and seat of government of Iran, is reportedly monitoring the situation intensively through diplomatic and intelligence channels to assess whether the United States move is part of a defensive strategy or a signal of greater geopolitical pressure. While several unofficial reports have cited large troop deployments, there has been no direct confirmation from U.S. military authorities regarding the exact number or specific purpose of this increased activity, leaving room for speculation among observers and the international media. As one of the world's largest military forces, the United States Army possesses the logistical and operational capacity to deploy troops relatively quickly to various strategic locations around the world, including the Middle East, a key focus of its foreign and defense policy for decades. In previous crises, units such as the 82nd Airborne Division have often been cited as the vanguard of rapid reaction operations, given their ability to deploy quickly to conflict zones to secure strategic interests or provide support to allies. However, it is important to note that to date, there is no concrete evidence to suggest that such units have actually deployed on the scale widely reported, leading many to believe that the prevailing narrative may be an overinterpretation of routine military movements. The Pentagon generally maintains a policy of regular troop rotation across various operational areas, including the Middle East, as part of its efforts to maintain combat readiness and regional stability. Therefore, not all military movements should be interpreted as an indication of an increased threat of conflict. Such moves often have complex strategic dimensions, where a single military action can convey a specific political message to both allies and adversaries, which is then interpreted differently depending on each country's perspective. On the other hand, the Iranian government continues to assert that it will defend its national sovereignty and will not remain silent in the face of any potential threats deemed to destabilize the country, a stance that reflects a firm stance in the face of external pressure. Official statements from Iranian officials also indicate that the country remains vigilant about any military developments in the region, while maintaining open diplomatic channels of communication in an effort to prevent misunderstandings that could escalate the situation. A number of geopolitical analysts believe that the current situation reflects a signal war or signaling strategy, in which military force is used as a political communication tool without actually engaging in open conflict. This strategy is often used by major powers to demonstrate their readiness and strength, while also indirectly warning others against taking steps deemed detrimental to their interests. In the Middle East context, this approach is nothing new, as the region has long been an arena for competition for influence between various global and regional powers with divergent interests. The United States, for example, maintains its military presence as part of its commitment to its allies and its efforts to maintain the balance of power in this strategic region. Meanwhile, Iran continues to seek to expand its influence through various approaches, including diplomacy, regional cooperation, and defense strategies designed to strengthen its bargaining position internationally. The relationship between the two countries has long been marked by tensions, ranging from political conflict to ideological rivalry, which is yet to find a truly stable solution. This long history provides important background for understanding each new development, as every step taken by either party almost always has broader implications. Observers also highlight that increased military activity is often linked to the concept of deterrence, with a primary goal is to prevent an opponent from taking aggressive action through a demonstration of force. However, this approach is not entirely risk-free, as misinterpretations can trigger a chain reaction and escalate tensions uncontrollably. In situations like this, clear and transparent communication is key to preventing an undesirable escalation for all parties. The international community has begun to call for the importance of dialogue and diplomacy as the primary means of resolving differences, given that the impact of the conflict in the Middle East could spread to various parts of the world. Global organizations have also emphasized the need for all parties to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could be perceived as provocative. The stability of the Middle East region is crucial not only for surrounding countries, but also for the global economy, which relies heavily on the smooth distribution of energy. Disruptions to regional stability could directly impact oil and gas prices, ultimately affecting the overall global economy. Furthermore, international trade routes passing through the region could also be disrupted if the security situation worsens. Other major powers, including allies of the United States and partners of Iran, are also closely monitoring these developments and considering possible measures. Multilateral diplomacy is seen as an effective way to defuse tensions and create space for constructive dialogue. For now, various reports regarding troop deployment remain speculative and require further verification from official sources. Future developments will be largely determined by how each party manages the situation, both through military and diplomatic channels, in an effort to maintain a balance between national interests and international stability.